here today to talk about our mobile application called WeVue. First, I want to start you guys off with a story about why we actually created the product. I went to school in the middle of Ohio. When I say middle of Ohio, I mean middle of nowhere. There was nothing around me, 20 miles each way, nothing, cornfields. I come from Pittsburgh. I love going to sporting events, love going to concerts, love my Steelers events. But being in Ohio, I wasn't able to get to every event that I would like to get to. I would constantly scour the internet looking for different pictures and videos and information about these events, and all that I could find was professional content. I would see professional photography, I would see professional bloggers, but what I wouldn't see was fan content that could immerse you back into that scenario and or event, whatever it would be. That's where the idea of WeVue came into play. What is WeVue? WeVue is a social media app that crowdsources pictures and videos around any type of event. Whether that be a kid's birthday party, the Super Bowl, it doesn't matter. The privacy settings within the application allow anybody to easily craft what they want to do with the application. The second part of WeVue, and really our secret sauce, is the view creation. We allow anyone that has joined the event and is a part of it to go in, grab the pictures and videos that they like, and create a view or a movie. This right here is a view made from the Cheers party that happened about 2 weeks ago. We were in attendance. We grabbed pictures and videos from people that put it in the application. So let's say you have a good picture, you have a good video. I'm in the back talking the whole time, so I don't get the pictures and videos that I need, but I want to recap the event for my friends. So I go in WeVue, I click your picture, your video, your picture, put it all together, add captions and a soundtrack, and right there you have your view. Taylor's going to walk you through a little product demo, where we were and where we're going now.
So essentially, when you first come to the application, we have an element of the app that really lets you explore all kinds of events that are happening right now, or that have happened in the past or are coming up. So these are my events that I've either created or joined. I can filter this list, check out what's popular. We also have a really full social network built into this. So I can go in, I can follow Saxon, he creates a new event or adds content to an existing event. I can see what he's doing all the way across the world if I want to follow him on his way or what have you. Creating events really simple. Come in, tap the big red button. We ask you to add a thumbnail, give us a little metadata about the event, tell us where it's happening, when it's happening. Creates it right away, allows you to then send invitations to your friend via email or text message. And then from there, what you get is this event experience where everyone's able to now add their content. So this is my sister's graduation last weekend. Everyone can come in, add their content. This can all be viewed full screen. We've actually just implemented a feature this week. You can now save all of this content to your phone. You can share it independently on Facebook or Twitter. And then you can also come in. It's a bulk upload as well, so if you have hundreds of photos, you can dump them all in there so everyone has access to that content. And then to create a view, you come in, you're able to see all of the content that everyone has added. I select my favorite pieces. We then pull that content down from the cloud onto your device so you can really edit and craft this view. So I can come in, I can zoom on these photos, I can caption everything. I can add a soundtrack for my camera roll. You arrange down here by dragging and dropping this stuff. I would then hit publish, and this takes about 2 minutes for us to make on our server. We then send you back in the application a video, and they all exist actually as their own websites, so you can share out the View landing page, we call it, with anyone. So as far as monetization goes, we have looked at a few different strategies. We're really focused on the B2C market at the moment. So ideally what we do is you'll come into an event, and it's a sporting event, I'll find one, and we have pre-seeded sponsored content in there, pre-seeded views for products that the event is partnered with. And then I go in as a consumer, I add my content with that sponsored content, but say I grab a photo from Coca-Cola that I love, I include that in my view, I then share that on Facebook. I'm now advertising for Coca-Cola, and I don't even know I did it. We're also looking at B2B play, where we can license this technology to someone like the Masters or a Bonnaroo, where they would come in and say, hey, we want to bake this existing technology into our app that we've already created. So we come in and say, hey, now you can crowdsource content in your application and make these movies in your application. Or we'll make you your own app that looks something like this, but has your branding and your vision on it.
In terms of fundraising and where we're at with that, we are actually in the middle of our second round right now. We've closed on about $500,000 in this round, and altogether we've closed on almost $1 million. This round is being raised on convertible notes, and we're continually doing that. Should be done by the end of this month. Throughout the summer is really going to be our big marketing push. Our national PR and all of our marketing partnerships really takes place next month, and that's when we're trying to get the distribution out there to everyone across the country, whatever that would be. Once the fall rolls around, we really have a big plan for college campuses and ambassador programs. We're going to get Florida schools involved just to start, and then we're going to expand from there based on how the program works. In terms of the actual product, we have the iOS product. We are starting on an Android product next week, and we're starting on a web application. So if you have a DSLR camera, a GoPro, any sort of content that you need to put on the computer, no longer you have to put on the computer and then your phone. You can put it on the computer and directly onto our web portal, which will be done by the end of summer 2014.
So in terms of where we've come in the last 6 months, sorry, someone will have to ask where we've come.
That's what we
Where have you come in the last 6 months?
So last time we were here, we actually demoed our beta products, which looked vastly different than this. They actually have our old logo on the slideshow. So we launched our beta right around the time we first presented. Tested with a lot of local events. We did Don't Stop St. Pete Festival, Tampa Food and Wine Festival. Got a lot of good feedback and learned, what we had to change. So we completely went back to redesigning the products, and this is, what we've relaunched since then. And our fundraising has really been what we've been focusing on the last 6 months. So I love the product. He makes it.
Have you guys explored trying to reach out to the e-ticketing companies like Eventbrite?
The what?
E-ticketing companies?
Yeah.
Eventbrite.
It's definitely a partnership platform that we could look at. In terms of actually setting up the event, that would be more on their end, and the actual fan engagement at the event would be on our end. We just are waiting. We're waiting now. We're ready, but we were waiting before we reached out to the Eventbrites and the Ticketmasters to have that MVP product really in our hands before we went to these bigger companies.
Yeah,
A lot of the ticketing companies we've seen are also kind of delving around doing something like this. There's a lot of people kind of dancing around what we're doing, but we're the only people we've seen that have combined this crowdsourcing and video. So we're hoping that maybe we're an acquisition for them at some point.
Is your guys' company a separate kind of social media network, or you guys
So
dealing with other social media?
we have our own social platform built into the app. With that being said, we allow one-way sharing. We don't allow hashtags to come into our app, but we allow them to go out. So if you make a view and you want to share that via Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, that's fine. We put that directly in the app, and it will then bring up your conventional iOS standard that says, share out to these networks.
So the only way to share between people is they have to have the app.
Within the app,
Okay.
yeah. We didn't
That was a pretty deliberate decision on our
Yeah.
part.
Sounds
We didn't want to be contingent on other platforms. Let's say that Instagram went down tomorrow, or Facebook goes down tomorrow. Not that I'm saying they will, but if they did, then we'd be out of luck on that point.
The other thing that's important to know about technology companies that are dependent on third-party APIs is you're dependent on their rules. So Instagram, Twitter, they could all say tomorrow, nope, no one can have our stuff. And they've already, we tested with Facebook login on our beta, and we had so many issues with it, we just said, you know what, forget it, we're not dealing with that anymore. We have to just sign up with another service.
For all the development and design of it, did you guys do that in-house, hire out?
We worked with a contracting firm that's actually an equity partner initially to develop the data. And as that process is ongoing, we brought on in-house employees. So we're about to be 5 right now. So we have 2 full-time developers that work with us. I did a lot of design work. And then we worked with kind of just very contractors here, there, and everywhere.
How do you handle the ownership of the pictures? Who owns the pictures?
It's completely on the user. So once you put a picture up, it's on the user. We have it on our terms of service, just like a YouTube and Instagram. Once you put it up, it's on the user. This is just a platform to share it. It's not on us once it's up there. With that being said,
It's a Creative Commons license.
Yeah, Creative
So
Commons.
you collectively, once you add a piece of content, the group owns that content.
and then content management is done by the event owner If it's a private event, we actually do private auditing, just like Facebook does, to make sure there's nothing illegal happening within the private event.
I know you're grappling with it right now. What's your take on convertible note to equity?
It depends. It really depends where you're at in terms of the company. If you could put a valuation on your company and you feel comfortable going to investors with that, I would say put a valuation, go to investors with that. We did this convertible note deal because we wanted to bridge from now until we go to an institutional investor. We didn't want to put a valuation on there. We knew we could raise money with what we had, but we didn't know if the valuation was something that we wanted to deal with, so we put it off to the side, and we did the convertible note, and it's actually been very successful with us. With that being said, I had an equity deal on the table. We had an equity deal on the table about a week ago, and we declined it because the notes would then have to convert at a lower valuation that we weren't ready to give the company.
So you putting a discount or a cash?
Discount.
Does the application cross-platform, Android, iOS,
Not yet.
Windows?
So Android happens this summer, Windows happens when they write us a fact check, and the web app will happen probably this summer as well. So Android's our next priority. We're working with the firm to kind of help us expedite that.
What's your strategy to get users to use your platform?
In terms of distribution,
Just to be the user, you said you're direct
really,
consumer.
we're really looking at social influencers. So we have about 15 different artists that use the application for their tours, and their fans are very active on social media. So for example, Marcos Carnival is one of the biggest Brazilian DJs. Yesterday I made a video for him. I put it out promoting his show on Saturday. He retweets it, 50,000 people see that. Right there's the distribution model based on already valuable current social networks. We use them to distribute our product to their fans and then organically grow from there. And then strategic partnerships is the other one. You know, partnering with Extreme Trips, the big college travel company, partnering with festivals that happen, partnering with any type of event planner is really, our sweet spot.
It's one of our biggest sort of tests that we're doing right now is really trying to figure out a lot of different ways to get distribution. So we have our lovely interns here today that we're having, create tons of content, and ideally in the fall they're going to go back and be student ambassadors to their campuses. Any big fraternity, sorority event, what have you that's going on, we want to have students that are involved promoting WeVue at those events. We're going to start throwing events ourselves just to kind of test some of these theories that we have around getting people in the door, downloading an app. We've really found that it's almost impossible to get someone to download an app at an event, so we need to either engage them before or after with some kind of touch point that says, hey, WeVue helps you enhance your event after it's happened, download it, add your content, etc. And that was a beta test. It took us a long time to realize people do not download apps at events.
Where are you based?
We're based in the Wave in Tampa. We actually moved out today into our new rainbow-colored office. That it's downtown Tampa as well.
Okay, and could you go over your revenue model again? Are you going to be like sponsor reliant?
Yeah, so ideally we're focused primarily right now on the B2C play. We want to grow a massive audience, raise another round of funding, and then attempt to monetize. Realistically, it will probably exit to a larger social network or event ticketing company. But we also have this B2B model that we're exploring. So we're in talks with about 10 different companies trying to find that first ideal partner that we can come in and do one of two things. Hey, we'll make you an app that looks like this. It's your branding, so you're the Tampa Bay Lightning. You want an event for every game. You can crowdsource content for every game. People can make views. Or we can say, hey, Tampa Bay Lightning, you already have an app. We'll just plug this in. You take a couple snippets of code. We'll help you design a UI, and now you have this in your existing application already.
Well, I have some people who are in the same space as you are, not really app, but it could be a perfect partnership with you guys.
Awesome.
We'll
We'll talk after.
Could you say how many active users you have already and how many new ones are you adding per month?
So we've done no marketing. We're not actually chasing users yet. That starts in June. And we've had 2,000 beta testers. So they're just been all organic us word of mouth.
Who signed up?
Yeah, so the app's live. If you guys have iPhones, please download it. If you search 1 Million Cups, you'll see the original event from when we were here the first time. I couldn't snag a logo on the way here, so I figured we'll just keep that one going.
I love this idea of you guys, I'm in a co-ed business fraternity, and I trying to Snapchat, maybe Facebook, like, do you guys have a strategy in how to kind of?
I think one of the things we're really trying to do is find the balance of touch points. And hey, when do we engage a user before, during, after, and then without overwhelming them? So a feature we're working on right now is automatically creating these views, these videos. So once a certain amount of content has been added to the app, that'll automatically make a video for everybody. And then that sends it out to the entire group. So you don't even have to go in and make these movies. The app's going to make them for you and turn them out. And then you can use that, A, to incentivize people to come in and make their own, but also, hey, you don't have to do anything, just dump your content and there you go. So just making it extremely simple for someone like yourself to upload this here instead of saying, hey, I have Facebook and then I got to track it down. It's all right there for everyone here to have.
We're also completely event focused. So unlike those other applications, we want to be the #1 app for events. When you go to an event, we want you to think WeVue, we want you to get on WeVue.
You guys still be with us?
Yes.
More fun.
What prevented you from launching Android side by side? The funds or?
It's just we have more resources, to be honest. And also, you know, one of the biggest challenges we had was figuring out how this camera works and what size pictures it takes and how they relate to video. So a lot of people don't realize this, but iPhones take 4:3 images, which is that size, but they take 16:9 video. So we had to really explore and experiment around whether we were going to make the videos that we made 4:3 or 16:9 and how we shrink things and how we move them around. And doing that with all of the Android cameras as well at the same time as doing iOS, which is too much for us to think about in the beginning. We wanted to be able to build from one specific platform that we knew very well, and then take that and translate it to other platforms.
What'd you guys build it in?
It's all iOS, native iOS, and the back end.
Oh, so you have two code bases? You're building it native and
Yes.
Android and?
Yes.
Holy cow.
That's what most native applications you see are all built natively for iOS or for, especially ones that have heavy lifting capabilities. Like Instagram, great example. There's no way you can make Instagram work by building it with a cross-platform tool like Titanium or something. We use too many API calls, so we call the camera, we call the audio. We have to do so much heavy lifting that for us to write it in one code base and then translate it, it would be too clunky. We explored that option, but we have yet to see an app that's done it with a lot of functionality successfully.
The redesign looks great. Congratulations on the fundraising
Thank
too.
you.
What other changes or major pivots have you realized in maybe 6 months or even from the time you initially had this concept that grew experience you had to switch direction?
I think the biggest thing was in our first application, the view creation, or as I said, our special sauce, was hidden under about 7 buttons. So you hit 7 buttons to get through, and then you're in the app, and now you get to the view creation. Now we brought that completely to the forefront, so that the first thing that you see is the event, and then you go and you see the views right there. We really want people to interact more with that. We have a lot of people posting pictures and videos, but not as many people making views. So that's still an issue for us, even with the redesign, something that we've been taking a close look at.
And I think, yeah, I mean, one of the things we've waited on and why we haven't done our big marketing push is we're still working on how to educate people really quickly on how to use the app. So like when you first download the app, there's some walkthroughs that kind of explain things. What we think we're going to do is as soon as you come into the app, you're going to make a WeVue. So you're going to make your view of your life that is then your profile photo. So it will dump you in, hey, take some pictures and videos that you have on your camera roll, make this view, we show you how it works, and then you have this thing that you can share for your dating profile or as a resume or what have you. But that exists as your profile and teaches you how that works. So we're kind of trying to figure that piece out so before we do a big push.
Where have you guys found being your biggest profit margin? Because I know with app development, there's a couple different routes.
Once again, we're pre-revenue, we haven't, no profit, strictly investment money.
We don't even have a model in place right now that is solidified, and we're unabashed about it because we've been B2C focused, product focused. We want to build something that's awesome before we figure out how to monetize it. yourself that you never expected, and like I've been quite good at hiring people. We found a lot of people just online, I mean, really kind of trolling AngelList and Behance and these recruiting sites, going to events like this and saying, hey, please give me Ruby on Rails developers because I really want to hire one, which is true, so you know, I love them. But yeah, I mean, we're pretty active in the community, going to stuff like this. We go to a lot of meetups. You know, we interviewed a guy yesterday. We met at a Ruby on Rails meetup, and I think it's about actively recruiting all the time and saying like, hey, we're always theoretically looking for good people, and that means that when good people are ready, they'll come to you, and that's kind of what we've seen.
That's great. Especially be able to find it.
It helps too that we're a B2C company in Florida because there's not many. So I think, you know, people hear photo and video and events and get more excited for it than keyboard games. I would hope.
So as you continue to grow and expand, how can the folks in this room help you?
We'd love you guys to try the app at your next event or use it for an event that's already happened. Just kind of go back and invite some friends and see if you can get their content in there. Please email us if you have any feedback on the products. If you know any investors that might be interested, we're still finishing out our rounds. We're still, like I said, we're hiring, so if you know any good developers, we'd love to talk to them. Yeah, and if you know any event planners who are doing big events that you think this would be valuable for, we'd love to meet with them as well. Awesome.
Thanks, guys. Well, thank you all for coming out to 1 Million Cups. Just a couple of last minute things. 1 and 2 o'clock today at the Chamber of Commerce, we have a seminar going on Google AdWords and how to effectively market using Google. If you'd like to join Mark, right there at the door is your gateway to signing up for that. Again, I'd like to remind you about our signing sheet in the back. That's to get on our email list and things like that. If you or somebody you know you think would be good to present up here, if they're a scalable business, a new business, please have them log on to 1millioncups.com/St. Pete. There's a quick and painless application process, and then we will reach out to them and talk them through all of that. Am I forgetting anything else? If you would like to see those events, we're going to work and put those on Facebook. I seem to remember being suggested that. I think it's a good idea, although I may have come up with it myself. Last but not least, anything I'm missing? Thank you again to Cow Coffee over there for having us.